Hello and welcome to another new news video. So sort of like a vlog type ordeal type of thing. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just a video series of sorts where I can just air things out, how things are going in my life outside of YouTube of sorts. I'm a little bit worried that moving forward this week, at least, things will be not so much stressful, but just very demanding and taxing, and yeah, a little bit stressful, really. You know, hopefully I'll be able to get through said week without it being too sort of straining on my person and that. But yeah, I mean, I think what was I gonna say? I think it's just because I've got quite a bit of college work to do, even though I'm off college for this week. After this recording, it's Tuesday, so I've got, a week today left of my holiday and that off college. So yeah, I would say it's great that I've got a week off, but obviously I've got, as I say, college work to do. That includes both vocational course that I'm doing, so games development, and also maths revision. So that's going to be fun, as well as having to consider and do stuff outside of college this week, and or outside of my house this week, and just do stuff, well, in relation to what I'll be doing after this college course ends and that, which is going to be fun. Not. But yeah, so that's why I feel like it's going to be a bit demanding of me. So, but yeah, I mean, me and my brother are probably going to go to this thing called Button Mash though in town, in the sort of closest town to where we live and that, which is going to be cool. Hopefully, that's going to happen on Saturday. So, but yeah. Hopefully things will be okay though. I'm planning on doing some maths revision tomorrow, and that. But yeah, it's just ironing out things with the sort of college work. It doesn't help that my college tutor who's set this work's a bit of a tool, to say the least. So yeah, just some of the inappropriate comments he's made, and that just generally in the class, and also some of the sort of things that he's done that's made me feel uncomfortable, and yet no one at college seems to be bothered really to do anything, which is a bit sad. It makes things challenging. It makes going into college, just physically being in the same room as him, quite daunting and quite stressful. On a more positive note, I have spare parts currently in my possession of sorts. I'm borrowing this from my friend Michael, whose YouTube channel is Nerd Central. So if you're any bit interested in the idea of listening to a fan-made audio, sort of audio Doctor Who series, then go check his channel out. He's doing, he's going to be doing an audio series soon on his YouTube channel, or I presume soon, and he let me borrow both Gallifrey Intervention Earth and Doctor Who Spare Parts, which is great because I just... obviously this has been one that's been on my radar for some time to listen to. I think ages ago we both listened to this. I think he was over at mine, and we'd listened to like part one, and then yeah, just never got round to listening to the rest of it. So I think I've listened to, as I say, part one, but it's obviously a proper uber classic Who sort of 4-part story. So yeah. My brother, talking about my brother, he also made me a little Lego minifigure version of my person, which I think is pretty cool as hell. With the fedora and everything, and obviously a little nerdy t-shirt, because cosplaying as the Fourth Doctor all the times. You got the Emmett clock thing, which is also from my brother as well, because his new phone obviously has a clock on it, so he doesn't has a clock on it, so he doesn't need that anymore, so he let me have it, which is nice of him. White lab coat for my Rick cosplay. So yeah, now I have a whole total of, I want to say, 3 different cosplays that I can do. I can do Rick from Rick and Morty, 4th Doctor from Doctor Who, and obviously the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who as well. So I'm getting up there in the ranks of cosplaying. I'm laughing because I'm probably really shit at cosplaying, but yeah. I presume anyway. I mean, as well as the white lab coat, I got the Rick and Morty portal gun, which ironically was over there, but now it's in one of the boxes under my bed, which is great. But yeah, also this is just a piece of blank white paper. It's got some writing on it. It just says Richard's work, because it is his work, because I have to design like a cover for this game that we're having to do. This project is this idea for this game we have to make, even though we were only given like one whole lesson to come up with this one idea for a game, and then now we have to do all manner of stuff and all work related to it. So, and that in itself is kind of stressful, but also it's finding out how everything interlinks with each other, and also being able to perceive it in different perspectives, because for example we have to do like a 2D animation trailer for it, but then we have to make a 3D game within Unreal Engine, which wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the fact that obviously my neurotypical and or my autistic brain is like works best in one perspective, or can maybe only see stuff in one perspective predominantly, and then has to adjust quite a bit to be able to fathom something in another perspective. So yeah, because obviously the 2D trailer is just flat 2D sort of stuff, so we're doing it on Photoshop, no, not Photoshop, sorry, we're doing it on Flash, or we're doing it sort of cut out, sort of old school cut out, like how they do it on South Park, like how I'm doing it, but then we're going into 3D, so it's going to be different, perspectively, and that is something I'm finding a bit challenging to wrap my head around. I finally put my Rick and Morty art book on my bookshelf, which has all manner of weird books, from Doctor Who to Star Wars and some video game stuff as well. There as well. So yeah, Rick and Morty art book. Again, I do really want to, at some point later down the line, get round to reading that and reviewing it on the channel, but it is, as you can see, quite a thick book, to say the least. It is glow in the dark, so when I turn my light off and it's night time and I'm trying to go to sleep, all I can just see in my peripheral vision is this glowing, which is pretty fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie. Interestingly enough, Mark Platt wrote this, Spare Parts, which I only say it's interestingly enough because of the fact that he also wrote Silver Turk, so I'm curious at this point, has anyone else actually written for the Cybermen? And that Regenerations box set, I'm up to, I've watched 10th Planet, War Games, Planet of the Spiders, and Logopolis, so I'm obviously up to Caves of Androzani. Just haven't got around to watching that one, unfortunately, although I've heard nothing but good things. Although the only reason why I mentioned the Regenerations box set is because, as well as going through every episode and reviewing each episode from the box set, obviously when I've done that, I want to actually do an overview / review of the actual box set, and that of all the pages, the design, the layout, what I think of it, what I thought was the best episode from the box set, which I thought was the worst, and why, and that. I mean, I think out of the first 4 Regeneration stories, William Hartnell to Tom Baker, and that, oddly enough, to people's disbelief, I actually think Logopolis is probably the weakest of the 4. And that, I just think it's, I don't know, I mean, considering that Tom had done 7 years, that's how you end his run, it just felt kind of mediocre, to say the least, for me anyway. I mean, if you like Logopolis, that's totally fine, but I just find it a bit, not sort of bad, it's not atrocious, but it's not a 10 out of 10 brilliant story by any means. It's weird, you start off Tom Baker's run with episodes like Robot and Genesis and Ark in Space and even, Revenge and Sontaran Experiment, and then you end with Logopolis. It just felt, again, it felt mediocre. It felt like it could have been so much more. It could have been more grandiose. It could have been more eventful, to say the least. It just, Tom just looks like he's totally gone and totally just done with the role. The other companions and people around him are just new to the show, and that's not their fault. Like, they're just sort of doing the best with the material they've got, but it's limited, in what they can do, and, just doesn't stack up as much in contrast to the other 3 Regeneration stories that had gone before it, for me anyway, personally. But yeah, but I probably need to do a, what do I need to do? I probably need to do a, Big Finish Audio collection update already, because since the last one I've actually got a fairly substantial amount of Big Finish Audios, so yeah. Oh, that reminds me as well, my friend Michael, who also let me borrow those Big Finish Audios, also got me something for my 20th birthday, which was super nice of him. So I've got a Big Finish audio from him to come yet, as well as the Gallifrey Time War Gallifrey Volume 1, the Time War box set, or Gallifrey Time War box set Volume 1, even, bleh, what a mouthful. But yeah, yeah, one day I do want to review that as well, sort of, Panini Comics, Ninth Doctor, sort of, it's a graphic novel and a collection of all of the Ninth Doctor, stories, all of the Ninth Doctor, well, not stories, but stories that, or adventures that, comic strips basically, that the Doctor Who magazine does. They sometimes, when the whole sort of era of a Doctor's run is done, clearly Panini Comics publish and or print a graphic novel of all those stories in a graphic novel, and therefore you can just pick up that and read all the comic strips from different writers. So that did stories for the Ninth Doctor in the Doctor Who magazine comic strips, so yeah. So that's pretty cool. Recently picked up Monster Hunter Worlds, so played a bit of that yesterday. That was fun. That was something different. I haven't played on my Xbox One for what feels like an eternity. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, currently, as of this recording, I'm good. And that is just, obviously, as I say, moving forward, outside of YouTube, I'm a little bit worried that things might be a bit overwhelming and a bit much for me, considering, as I say, I've got college work, college work in terms of the course that I'm doing, plus maths, plus having to figure out stuff to do outside of college, well, not outside of college, but after college even, and all this course that I'm doing, and that, so, yeah, just lots of different stuff that's being stupid, and as well, so, like, I'm being expected to look to the future, but also then when I stop doing that, because that's stressing me out, and trying to just focus on here and now, that's stressing me out, because here and now is kind of a bit challenging as well, because of the fact that, as I say, one of my tutors, Richard's being a bit of a tool, and I know people's rebuttal at the college is pretty much, oh, well, you'll be leaving soon, and it's like, well, okay, so, but from now to then, I have to be miserable, because you can't be asked trying to help. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for heaven and earth here. I'm not asking for them to, assassinate Richard, or, do you know what I mean, or like poison him or anything, or just, anything drastic like that. I'm just asking for them to be understanding, or be a bit more open-minded, or be a bit more accepting of the fact that I am still finding things challenging, in terms of Richard, and the fact that, for Christ's sake, he actually said that I was just having a meltdown in the corner whilst everyone else was in the classroom. He's just there like, oh, Matthew's just having a meltdown in the corner, and it's like, thanks, I guess. I mean, I was putting my noise-cancelling headphones on to focus on some work, so the fuck does he know? But yeah, what a tool. The last thing I was going to say, that's what I was meaning to say. The irony is that going into 2017, I was getting more into it, that all went terribly wrong, didn't it? Going into 2017, in terms of the YouTube channel, I was getting more into Doctor Who, in the Doctor Who Big Finish audios, right? So then my big declaration on my Facebook group page that I have was, this is going to be, 2017 is going to be the year of doing Doctor Who Big Finish audios, and yet that didn't happen. I probably reviewed, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or something pathetic like that, right? In the course of all of 2017 whilst doing YouTube videos, right? And yet the irony is that going into 2018, my declaration was never to do that. My declaration was predominantly just to continue, really, just make more sort of Nintendo or Rick and Morty videos. That's about it, really. But here we are, we've got, I want to say like nearly 5 Big Finish audio reviews this year already. We've got Unregenerated, we've got the Antimatter one, so Fourth Doctor Adventure Series 1, Unregenerated, Curse of Davros, Silurian Candidate, and then I've recently reviewed Gallifreyan Intervention Earth. So yeah, like 5 already, and we're only in February of this recording, so that's bonkers to me, that I didn't set out this sweeping declaration of being like, oh, I'm gonna do more Big Finish audio reviews, but I just have, and it's kind of cool because again, I enjoy listening to them, and I enjoy reviewing them, and I want to get better at reviewing them, and I want to see what's, what in terms of Doctor Who Big Finish audios, i.e. what is really good, what is really shit, in my opinion, but what is out there in terms of what Big Finish do, because I've divulged dived into the classic series, and I've dived into all of the new series. I've seen every new series episode. I've not seen every classic series episode, but I've seen more than enough. I've read the comic books, for Christ's sake. The only real area of Doctor Who that's left for me to discover and have that new sort of found renewal and fire of passion and interest in terms of the Doctor Who universe, in terms of the stories that people are outputting, is the Big Finish audios, and that's why I think I'm subconsciously maybe reviewing more of them. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, hopefully things will be good, and the holiday isn't too demanding of me. Just wanted to zoom in on my Lego minifigure. So, thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe.